My stepping stone is dry from priming it. And if you want to see that video, we have another video that shows you all of the techniques to get your stepping stone prepared for painting. Stepping stones are very they're porous but non-porous. They're a hard surface, and they're difficult to dry. So you want to give yourself plenty of drying time. Never try to rush it because it just doesn't work. I've mixed number 16 with number 32, and I'm using a Chinese duster stippler, and I'm going to stipple the paint color on there. And I'm choosing this neon kind of green. This is going to be basically a highlight, and you'll notice that you'll see some of these will lose bristles in there. You're just going to pick them off. Okay, I don't want around my edges done. They're going to be dark. But by stippling the paint on, so part of the problem is you have to use so much heavy paint and you can thin that out by just brushing it out once you get stippled into those cracks and crevices. Okay, because we have a more open drying time, that gives us the opportunity to do fun techniques. So let me show you a couple of neat little techniques. So we're going to get into number 32. And we're going to wipe out our brush. Pick up 32. And then we're just going to go ahead and give it a little movement in the middle. And it'll kind of blend into your color, which makes it way nicer. When you're blending things together, it's nice when the mediums stay wet. So I just want to have just a little bit of something that would contrast with grass if you had this stepping stone in a grassy area. So I want this just a little bit brighter than the grass, but I want it to go with nature. Bit more. When you are making decisions about what to put on your stepping stone, take your placement of your stencil or however you're going to paint it and make sure you take into account the big pockets so that you don't have a hole where an eyeball would be or something like that. So you want to kind of systematically think about your surface. Okay, so now I'm wiping out the paint and I'm just going to softly blend my edges. And I'm going to leave that rough in the middle. And now we're going to take out, this is a dark green, but it's so dark compared to this that it's like, I didn't think it was green. It looks like it's black. All right, so now same technique, dirty brush. And we're going to take this dark color and we're going to go all the way around the edges. Just to kind of shade it. And then I'll do the sides of the stepping stone with this color. And you can grab out a clean brush and use it for blending. And it'll do a softer effect. Okay, that gives me a foundation of color. And then when I get back into it and it's dry, then I'll do some dry rubbing and some techniques like that that will help me complete the blending process. In the meantime, I'll go ahead and get all my edges done with number 51. Okay, my stone has dried. You can force dry these with a blow dryer, so just know that. I'm going to use the Jumbo Dome brush. You want one of these brushes. They are amazing. I'm going to use color number 51. dip it in my dry dome brush, and then I'm going to do this up here. Normally you would not offload on top of your project because it can seep through your paper towel, but just so that it's clear what I'm doing, I'm gonna dry that off, and then we're going to scumble in the darkest area first. Scumbling is where you're just rubbing something. So we're gonna start in the dark corner because our paint is the most on our brush. And then we're going to carry it around the corner, and this is going down. I'm going to lessen my pressure as I walk out, and so that's going to just softly, softly, softly shade that area. And then I'll round it out. I'm just dusting like a feather duster. Okay, so you just want just a little bit, and notice how we got the foundation started, and now we're refining. Okay, so we'll pick up more paint. And I'm on my Dollar Tree towel. And the neat thing about using a Dollar Tree towel for this is, number one, you can get paint and varnish and everything on it, but it makes the stone so easy to move. So that is just a wonderful thing to use. That's a pro tip right there. And now we'll go back into this corner, and we'll do the darkest area heavier. And I'll go over here and grab that little rim. Go down here, grab that guy right there. And now lightly, 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 walk it out. And it starts just really making a story that you're gonna tell in the middle. And we're gonna do some work here on this middle area as well. So now we use our towel. Makes it so much easier. When these stones are on hard surfaces, they really grab. All right, so now we're gonna work on the middle area. So this is drying, but it won't take very long to dry because there was very little paint used. And I'm going to use number 32, which was that highlight color that we mixed with our green. And then we're going to, now this shouldn't be too much control because this is already lightened, but I wanna smooth it out. It needs a little makeup. It has blemishes. Okay, so we're just going to lightly, here and there from the middle out, and I want it just to pick up just a little bit more smooth. And if you have an area like that where something didn't blend well, just give it a little bit of a stipple, and that'll fill in just a little bit better. And we'll walk that out. And what we want is we want transition zones. We want dark to medium to light. So you don't want to go like have your dark and your light mix, because that's going to be so much contrast that it's going to be uncomfortable to look at. So I think I'll just stipple just a little bit here. And then I'll work in quadrants. So I'll work over here, and then I'll work over here, and it'll all become great and smooth. All right, so placement when your stencil doesn't match the size of your surface. Our stencils are translucent so you can see through them. I use a finger to measure distance and balance, and then I use the straight edge to show where it's even. And then 2 pieces of tape. In this case, I don't have 2 edges, so I'll go across and at the top. And that's how you secure your stencil so that it won't budge when you're stenciling. All right, I got my jumbo dome out again. I've got a big stencil. It's got big openings, so I can use a larger size dome brush. This is the jumbo. This is exclusively available here at StudioR12.com. And I'm going to stipple because I'm going over this very aggressive green. And I am going to lift and peek and see what I think about that. I think it's going to need a drop shadow. I'm going to show you a really cool secret about drop shadowing. I've got 2 ways to do it, and they're both cool. Okay, we're ready to take the stencil off and see what we have. Oh, I am not ready. I have a technique I want to do. We're going to do a little bit of ombre. Ombre mixes lighter colors with your darker colors and makes highlights and shadows. So I'm going to highlight. I'll use a smaller brush. So I mixed 27 with 4, And that's gonna make a lighter pink color. And I'm gonna have to blow dry. Okay, so what we wanna do is we wanna go right through the middle section of our words with the highlight. You could also highlight at the top and shade at the bottom, whichever way you want to do. I'm choosing the middle at this point. And I'm going to start in the middle. And then I'm going to go up from it. So I'll start darkest in the middle and then go up and down and then make it a wider fade. And I really think I could probably go in the middle with just white. I'm going to do it dirty brush though, so I'll wipe my brush out, pick up only white. And then when I do this, I'm just going to go right through the very middle. I'm not going to go up and down. Okay, it's getting there. And now, number 67. Okay, and then let's see, I'm gonna go down here so I can see if I like it just on the bottom or if I want it bottom and top. I think just bottom. I'm gonna darken it though. Okay, and then I think I'm gonna get wild. I'm gonna take my White Wonder, I'm gonna put a lot of water in my white paint. I'm gonna use the back end of my palette knife. This is the Italian palette knife and it's amazing. And you can get all of these tools either on our Amazon link in the description below, or you can find them on our website, and that's StudioR12.com. Always tap off when you're gonna do a spattering effect. And I'm gonna turn my project, and I want to go kind of right through the middle of these. So I'm going to turn my brush skinny wise and give it a spattery effect right through the middle. More water means bigger spatters. You'll get some spatters that get into other areas, but they'll just add charm. Okay, I am going to be painting this shovel, but right now I just want to see what the lettering looks like. Ta-da! How fun. So now I'm going to add some drop shadow. I'm going to show you how to drop shadow with a brush instead of with a stencil. If you want to use a stencil, we've got a whole playlist on how to use the stencil to drop shadow, so you don't need to know how to use a brush. Okay, to drop shadow with a brush, you need not a fine liner, but you need a round brush. And you need a round brush that will perform well. And then we're gonna mix with a lot of water, and then I twist it off just a little bit. And sometimes if I get it on my ferrule, I wanna go ahead and dry my ferrule off. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna choose everything to the left and under. You could also do right and over. There's no wrong way to do it. I've always just left and undered. When you do your round brush, you want to just drag the tip with even pressure, because if you push too hard and you lift up and you push too hard and you lift up, you're going to make a mess. Okay, so you need to practice. This is a skill that is definitely a skill, but once you learn it, you're golden. But this is why we have videos on how to use your stencil, because it's just stippling and it's so easy to do. I'm an old school painter, been doing it for 30 years, so I've got muscle memory and I love to just play with the round. So I wanted to show you guys that have maybe that desire and show you how to do that. So you're just going to drag your brush down and you'll just do the lefts. And then you can do your unders. Left side. Okay, when you are rinsing off your round brush, you never, ever, ever, you see me with all a million brushes in here, but they're domes and they're foams and they're things like that, but you never leave a round, a liner, or any of these Taklon brushes laying in your water in the bottom of your basin because you will wreck them. So just FYI, don't wreck your brushes. Okay, now let's paint a shovel. So I'm going to use number 13. This almost is the level where I would pull out a jumbo dauber. But I think I'm just going to use the brush. I've got one of those holes in the concrete stepping stone right there. This color is covering lovely. Then we'll go into the lighter brown, which is 44. Get a multi-masker out so I don't ghost myself. I think that covered brilliantly. I actually don't think I've seen something cover that well in a really long time. Okay, so I'm going to wipe out all this color and I'm going to add number 36 as a highlight. I think I'm actually going to change brushes because I did the dark, and that is harder to neutralize a dark color. Okay, so what I'm going to do with the lighter color is I'm going to go from the top down where the paint's the strongest color. Just walk it down. Anchor it inside, give it some depth, and then maybe right up this middle area. Just to be like there's something going on there. I'm going to mix number 17 with number 28, which is the black, to make a darker brown. I don't want it black and I don't want it medium brown, so I want it a little bit darker. And then we'll do the opposite. We'll go up the base of the handle. Maybe even do a little bit of only black on the tip. And then maybe give the sides just a little love. Yeah. Now, here's what you need to do to pull it together. So you're going to take one of your little dome brushes and you're going to go into your number 67. And you're just going to give a little scumble hint over to the side to carry that paint color around. And maybe I'll do this one up the middle. And that's going to make this color not be an isolated color where you just have these things here and then that's that color there. It pulls both colors in together. Okay, and now let's take a look. Ta-da, getting cute. Okay, so I'm looking at it and I'm like, what do I need? I feel like my ombre wasn't dark enough. So I'm going to try something. We're going to try number 18. Which is a rusty red. And I'm going to mix it, I'm going to brush mix it in with a little bit of our 67. And then just brushing, flip him over because I want to hit those bottoms. Just try darkening him up just a little bit at the base. Okay, let's see. Yeah, I like that deepened better. And then maybe we pull just a little bit on our edges down here. And now we have to have spatters. So we'll go into our little chartreusey looking green. And we're going to go into and then I think we go into our black. and we go around. And ta-da!